Hey, what's up, guys? It's Renaldo here. So, this video is just to give some explanation on what Parliament can and cannot do with regards to removing members of Parliament. Because a lot of people online have now come up and tried to defend me against Parliament when the problem isn't actually Parliament. Let me explain what I mean by this. So, the Sowetan Live is reporting that Parliament says comments made by Sport Minister Gayton McKenzie on X, formerly Twitter, between 2013 and 2017, in which he used the K word multiple times, cannot be brought before its ethics committee because he was not an MP at the time. Now, if you look at the comments, a lot of people, look, I gave my explanation there, but you can see people are tagging me going, but what about Renaldo? What about Renaldo? The double standards that's here. What about Renaldo? I mean, look here, Renaldo, there's Renaldo, Renaldo. So let me set the record straight. The people that work at Parliament are the salt of the earth. They are amazing people. From the very first day that I registered when I got to Cape Town, and the people helping us, the people at Parliament are phenomenal, and they are 100% apolitical. The people that work at Parliament just focus on Parliament, not on the members of Parliament. They focus on assisting members of Parliament, but not because of your political affiliation. So what is happening here is 100% correct. I also wasn't removed by Parliament. I was removed by my political party. Gayton McKenzie said those things before he became a minister. Same with me. That 2010 video was long before I became a member of Parliament, and it was also long before I became a politician and before I became a member of the Democratic Alliance. So Parliament ultimately isn't the one that got rid of me. I don't know why so many people believe that, but no. The reason I got removed from Parliament was because the DA terminated my membership, which then led to a vacancy opening up in Parliament, because I can't go, because I can't represent the DA because my membership was terminated. Now, I've spoken about this many times, but in a nutshell, the DA did a 3-month investigation. The FLC, which is the Federal Legal Commission that did the investigation, ultimately found that I should return as a member of Parliament. That was their recommendation. Their recommendation was that, yes, with everything that was said and done, Renaldo did this wrong, Renaldo did that wrong, but ultimately, Renaldo should return as a member of Parliament. That was after a 3-month investigation that the Federal Executive, which is Helen Zille, John Steenhuisen, and the provincial leaders, the top decision-making body, they asked the FLC to investigate. The FLC investigated, and they said that I should return to Parliament. And then the Federal Executive sat for one day, and in one day, they overruled the FLC's decision. So a 3-month investigation versus a half a day consultation, and the FLC's recommendations were ignored, and the Federal Executive decided to terminate my membership, which wasn't a recommendation by the FLC. So ultimately, then, I asked the Federal Executive, can I please get the minutes to the meeting? Because I know that the FLC recommended that I remain as a member of Parliament, and the Federal Executive refused. So I asked informally, they refused. I then sent them a formal email, they refused. Then I launched a PIA application to get the information, and 30 days later, they responded and said, we're not going to share it with you because you're not privy to this information. Which is weird, right? Because after giving 13 years of my life to the DA, all I'm asking for is give me an explanation as to why you didn't adhere to the FLC, which is your own legal commission. And they refused to. So to this day, I don't know what in that meeting caused them to decide to overrule the FLC's decision. And it's quite weird because the DA took the ANC to court for their NEC documents, because they said that we believe in transparency and all political parties should be transparent. And the moment that I'm asking for the exact information that they requested it from the ANC, they refused to give it to me. So to this day, I still do not know what in that meeting made them decide that my membership should be terminated. With that being said, though, don't feel bad for me. Really, I don't, because I would not have been able to remain in that position with what the DA has continually done since then. You know, voting against their own principles and values by supporting the Bella Act, the Expropriation Act, NHI. Those are things that I would have probably said, hey guys, I'm out. So this is not like a revenge video. I'm just trying to portray to you that it wasn't Parliament that kicked me out. It was the Democratic Alliance that terminated my membership, that opened that vacancy up in Parliament. But ultimately, to this day, I still don't know. They were fully aware, by the way, just as a side note. The DA acted all shocked, but that video was declared to them the moment I decided to step into politics. So from the very first day that I entered politics and joined the DA, they were aware of that video and it was considered dealt with. Then the technicalities in the case became, but you didn't declare it. And then I proved to them that I did declare it because I had an email. And then there was also a meeting with the provincial leader at the time. Ultimately, though, they are denying that I ever shared it with them, even though there's email proof and minutes of meetings proof with regards to that. So ultimately, I believe that the DA just was told to get rid of me. Now, I don't know by who. I don't know whether it was the ANC that told them, listen, if you want to negotiate in this GNU to formulate a GNU, because that's the time it happened at. Remember, it was convenient as they were negotiating the GNU, then that video came out, right? So I'm not sure if it was the ANC or if it was the donors or some of the donors to the DA that said, just get rid of him and focus on the GNU. But ultimately, I had no backing from the DA after giving 13 years of my life where I didn't, fight with the DA. I protected the DA. I defended the DA. I defended the leadership, and this is what I received in return. But then again, the same happened to Roman Cabernac. He was headhunted by John Steenhuisen, and then they discarded him. Andrew Whitfield, he followed their instructions, and ultimately he was left out to dry. He lost his deputy minister position. And then Emma Powell, people can say what they want, but the people that know that she was dealt with within the DA. And now, she can't say too much because she's still a member of Parliament. And if she says too much, then she can lose that position too. So, ultimately, don't blame Parliament. The people that are responsible for me losing my seat in Parliament was the DA. But don't go after them. It's like, it doesn't matter. I'm better off. I'm not part of a hypocritical party that one day says one thing and the next day does another. So I just wanted to share this information with you so that you can be fully aware of who is responsible for me not being a member of Parliament anymore. That's all I wanted to get out there. So thanks for tuning in. Please be sure to smash that like button. Please be sure to subscribe to this channel. And if you enjoy my content, please consider becoming a member. You can do so by clicking the join button below. And that's pretty much all I got to say. Till later, cheers and peace out.
You don't even know me, but every time you see me, you say, I wear my massacre. You don't even know me, but every time you see me, you say, I wear my massacre. I wear my massacre. You don't even know me, but every time you see me, you say, I wear my massacre. I wear my massacre.